So good morning, everyone. I'm Katerina Papostolou, Senior Research Associate in NTUA, and on behalf of the InEExS Consortium, I would like to welcome you to our final webinar. Thank you for joining us as we officially conclude the InEExS journey. And we are about to reflect on what we have achieved together over the past 3 and something years. So today's session is the final wrap-up of the project. And following our successful event and replication workshop with the Smart Energy Cluster projects in Brussels last October, now it's an opportunity not only to present the results, but also to take a step back and look what these results mean for the future of the innovative energy service models in Europe. I don't know if you can see the slides properly, because I think that.
Sorry, 1 second.
No worries. I can continue talking about InEExS. So InEExS was built around a simple idea, but ambitious in parallel. That the digitalization and more particularly distributed ledger technology and blockchain tokenization can unlock some other new ways in order to validate the energy savings, to incentivize end users, behavioral change, and of course enable, as we say in InEExS, cross-sector energy services in a transparent way and also trustworthy. So this is me, and this is about InEExS. So today, what we're about to do is to dive into the lessons learned from our 4 business cases across Germany, Spain, Greece, and the Nordics. And importantly, we will look forward. So we will discuss how these models can move beyond the project environment, how these can be replicated, scaled, and integrated into market structures across Europe. So as you can see in the agenda, we will start next. We will start with our keynote speech from our project officer from the European Commission, Mr. Eleftherios Bourdakis, and then we will deep dive into our business cases. But before this, we will have an overview of what is DLT and how it was used in InEExS. So in the next slide, you will see some practical information and details. So if you want to ask your questions, we encourage you to actively engage in this discussion and share your reflections. So you can use the chat function to ask questions. And raise also your hand in order to be unmuted and then pose your question. For technical support, we have with us from ICP our colleague Roberta, who can help you. So if you pose your questions in the chat function, these can be addressed either through the chat or orally from our speakers. And last but not least, this webinar will be recorded, and we will share everything in our social media and in the InEExS webpage. So I guess that we are ready to start with our first speaker, Mr. Eleftherios Bourdakis from the European Commission. So Eleftheri, the floor is yours. Thank you for being with us.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today at the final event of InEExS. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers and project partners for inviting me to give a speech on EU latest policy updates on energy and for their dedication in advancing Europe's energy transition through innovation. In my speech, I will focus on evolving EU policy landscape in energy efficiency and digitalization, 2 pillars of our climate and energy strategy, and briefly reflect on how projects like InEExS help bring those policies to life. First of all, we have to realize that energy efficiency is not just a technical goal. It is a strategic imperative. To reach the EU long-term energy and climate goals, we need, of course, to reduce our overall energy use. And energy efficiency measures can make it possible without lowering our standards of comfort, and at the same time, we are saving money from our energy bills. Over the past 20 years, the EU has managed to reduce its energy use by about 27%. And this is obviously not enough to meet the ambitious targets that we have set. For that reason, under the revised Energy Efficiency Directive, the EU has committed to reduce the final energy use by 11.7% by 2030, based on 2020 projections of our energy use for 2030. This is a cornerstone of the Fit for 55 package and the broader European Green Deal. Last June, Commissioner Jorgensen pledged a renewed commitment towards energy efficiency during the International Energy Agency Global Energy Efficiency Conference that took place here in Brussels. And in that direction, the Commission will center its work the coming years on 10 concrete areas of actions, among which are to support and simplify implementation of EU energy efficiency rules, including the Energy Efficiency Directive, the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive, and the Eco Design and Energy Labeling. To mainstream energy efficiency in EU energy policy making by integrating energy efficiency to broader EU energy strategies, such as the Green Package and the Electrification Strategy. To facilitate financing and investment by continuing to mobilize public and private capital through coalitions, natural hubs, investment platforms, support from the European Investment Bank, and encouraging the establishment of new investment tools. To create a tradable energy efficiency market by exploring systems like white certificate and auctions to reward energy savings, attract investment, and turn efficiency into a market-driven commodity. And to boost research and innovation by funding and partnerships to drive next-generation energy efficiency solutions in buildings and industry in general. These measures are designed not only to cut emissions, but also to reduce energy bills, enhance competitiveness, and strengthen energy security. A priority underscored by recent geopolitical developments, making energy efficiency a triple win. The upcoming launch of the Efficiency Auction Forum 2030, announced by the Commission and expected to be initiated before the end of the year, reflects the EU's renewed commitment to accelerating energy efficiency across member states. And digitalization is no longer a supporting tool to improve energy efficiency. It is a strategic enabler of Europe's energy transition. The EU's action plan on digitalizing the energy system, adopted in 2022, sets out 24 key actions to modernize infrastructure, empower consumers, and unlock flexibility across the energy value chain. At the heart of this transformation is the creation of a common European energy data space, which will allow secure, interoperable sharing of energy data. This is essential for enabling smart grids, real-time energy management, and innovative service models such as demand-side flexibility and bi-directional EV charging. At the same time, the EU is also investing in a digital twin of the European electricity grid to simulate and optimize grid performance, especially with fluctuating renewables. A smart energy expert group advising on cybersecurity, consumer empowerment, and digital fairness, and a code of conduct for energy smart appliances, promoting interoperability and participation in demand response schemes. However, digitalization doesn't come without side effects. The more we digitalize our services and infrastructure, the more vulnerable we become in cyber attacks. For that reason, cybersecurity has become a top priority for the Commission. As digitalization increases the complexity and connectivity of energy systems, the EU is developing network codes, resilience frameworks, and cross-sector legislation to safeguard critical infrastructures. Looking ahead, the strategic roadmap for digitalization and artificial intelligence in energy due the coming months will accelerate the deployment of European AI solutions in key areas such as grid optimization, energy efficiency in buildings and industry, sustainable integration of data centers, and consumer-facing digital tools. This roadmap is being shaped through public consultation and targeted workshops, ensuring that stakeholders from regulators to innovators can contribute to a coordinated digital future. And together, these initiatives reflect the EU commitment to a twin transition, green and digital, where technology not only supports decarbonization, but also empowers citizens, enhances resilience, and drives competitiveness. In that context, blockchain is increasingly recognized as a tool to support energy efficiency and flexibility, and it is emerging as a strategic digital infrastructure for the energy transition. Its core attributes, transparency, security, and decentralization, make it particularly suited to the evolving energy landscape, where millions of distributed actors interact across complex systems. The European Commission's blockchain and Web3 strategy aims to position the EU as a global leader in trustworthy, sustainable blockchain application. This includes supporting enhanced trust services and digital identity frameworks, promoting interoperability across platforms, and ensuring that GDPR compliance and cybersecurity in blockchain deployments. In the energy sector in particular, blockchain can be used to facilitate peer-to-peer energy trading, excuse me, automate smart contracts for flexibility services, secure energy attribute certificates and guarantees of origin, and tokenize energy savings and enable pay-for-performance models. The EU Joint Research Centre has identified blockchain as a key enabler for sector integration, especially in decentralized systems. Its reports highlight use cases in demand-side flexibility, renewable energy tracking, and smart building management. To support innovation while ensuring legal certainty, the Commission launched the European Blockchain Regulatory Sandbox. And this initiative provides a safe environment for dialogue between innovators and regulators, helping to test blockchain solutions in areas like energy, mobility, and public services. And each year, 20 projects are selected to receive legal guidance and regulatory feedback. Blockchain is, of course, not a silver bullet, but when aligned with EU values and policy goals, it can unlock new service models and accelerate the digitalization of energy systems. And this brings me to the LIFE project InEExS, which explored how blockchain can enable tokenized energy savings and smart service models across sectors. By enabling transparent, performance-based service models through blockchain, InEExS directly supports the implementation of Article 8 of the Energy Efficiency Directive, helping obligated parties deliver and verify measurable energy savings in line with EU targets while empowering consumers and SMEs. Its pilots in Germany, Spain, Greece, Finland, and Sweden show how innovation can support policy goals from demand-side flexibility to solar energy self-consumption. To conclude, the EU energy future depends on our ability to connect policy with innovation. And projects like InEExS are not just technical experiments, they are policy accelerators. They show us what is possible when regulation, funding, and creativity come together. The European Commission and SINEA will continue to support and scale such initiatives, ensuring that our digital and energy transition are not only ambitious, but also inclusive, secure, and digital driven. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eleftherios, for the speech and for giving us the opportunity to learn more about how you see digitalization from the European Commission side. So I think that we're now ready to continue with with our lessons learned, starting from a core part of our InEExS journey, which is the distributed ledger technology and how it was used in the InEExS project and throughout the business cases. So I will give the floor to Katie Lohman from Energy Web to start her presentation and giving us some insights with regards to DLT. So Katie, the floor is yours. You can start. Thanks.
Thank you, Katharina. Yeah, I will talk today about accelerating decarbonization via Energy Web's Verified Compute Cloud, which is used by the InEExS energy services that we have implemented. And for those joining us who may not yet know Energy Web, let me briefly introduce who we are. So Energy Web was founded back in 2017. And from the beginning, our mission has been clear, which is about to accelerate the energy transition through decentralized digital trust infrastructure. And since then, we have worked with hundreds of organizations across two major domains, which is green proofs, which are serving low carbon commodity markets and registries, and digital spine and related technology innovation concepts, facilitating utilities and grid operators and other market participants to decarbonize and digitize the power system. We mainly operate at the intersection of two rapidly expanding markets. On the decarbonization side, we see growth is exponential. Hundreds of registries are being built out there. The broader carbon and ESG market is projected to exceed $1 trillion by 2030. And on the energy side, we can see that renewable deployment continues to accelerate. So the solar grew by 27% last year alone, wind expanded by another 10%, and battery storage surged by 45%. But here's a structural challenge that we see. The grid queues for renewables are growing roughly 28%, and the curtailment incidents increased by around 65% already. So the coordination is not scaling at the same speed as the deployment. And at the same time, in decarbonization markets, more than 94% of investors cite lack of trust in ESG reporting, according to a survey done by PwC in 2023. So Energy Web's core product is called Verified Compute Cloud, and we see this as an answer to this challenge. Where some of you primarily know Verified Compute Cloud as a worker node network, it's important to understand that this network is a part of a broader trust infrastructure. Let me briefly explain what Verified Compute Cloud is in this wider context, how it operates, before we move into today's 4 practical use cases for InEExS. So at its core, Verified Compute Cloud allows enterprises to deploy verified business logic like any cloud service, but with real-time cryptographic verification and tamper-proof auditability. And here's how it works. So first, the business logic and data rules need to be defined. And using the Energy Web Marketplace, the verified compute clients can then register their solution with a defined verification scope termed VCC protocol and select a number of distributed verifiers. And these computations run off-chain, executed in parallel by independent nodes termed Verified Compute Cloud operators. And their results are then attested and submitted on-chain where the consensus establishes finality. And so what does all of that achieve? Well, it ensures that the logic ran correctly, the outputs were not manipulated, sensitive data remains private, and the result is verifiable by all stakeholders. And with the real-time verification and automated auditing, the Verified Compute Cloud strengthens any digital system where trust is critical, and also creating a digital audit trail that is viewable in the Energy Web Verified Compute Cloud Data Explorer as shown here. So Verified Compute delivers programmable execution guarantees for complex enterprise workflows with on-chain finality and privacy preservation. And that means we don't change any business logic, we make it verifiable. And it allows you to verify that any business logic that runs as promised and produces tamper-proof evidence, and this applies beyond energy markets to various use cases. For example, registries can prove they operate correctly without exposing sensitive data, empowered with real-time authentication, automated auditing, and AI-driven quality assurance, flagging inconsistencies immediately. And ESG platforms can back sustainability claims with cryptographic proof instead of relying solely on trust. A decarbonization system can then also prevent double counting, manipulation, which is critical in markets where credibility directly determines value. And as carbon markets scale globally and regulatory security increases, verifiable infrastructure becomes the foundation for trust and long-term integrity that we can foresee. So we use this infrastructure not only in today's InEExS use cases, but also in operational registries such as a SAFC registry, which is conducting continuous checks and validations on critical operations like certificate issuance, transfer, and retirement to be independently validated in real time. And one of our focus areas, as I already mentioned, has been the launching of book and claim registries in recent years. And this includes the SAFC registry, which we operate in partnership with the Rocky Mountain Institute, the Sustainable Aviation Buyers Alliance, and the Environmental Defense Fund. We also operate another flagship registry, which is called Catalyst, and that supports sustainable shipping services. We launched this registry in 2024 in partnership with the Rocky Mountain Institute and the Maersk McKinney Møller Center for Low Carbon Shipping. And we are really proud of our impact in this area because with the SAFC registry that has issued certificates representing over 150,000 metric tons of SAF, which by outcome makes us the world's largest registry. And across two registries, we have already abated over 519,000 metric tons of CO2 equivalent. And unlike the traditional annual limited sample-based audits, these data and logic assessments are automated and continuous. That means they are running 24/7 to flag potential concerns with certificate quality in real time and de-risk procurement. And importantly, these validations are also publicly visible, enabling easy monitoring through intuitive EnergyWeb's Verified Compute Cloud Data Explorer as presented, which shows that the full history of scan of validations for any certificate. So with Verified Compute Cloud, companies can tell the complete story of any emissions reduction claim. And this level of verifiability builds trust among corporate buyers, issuers, auditors, and in ensuring that the sustainability claims are backed by cryptographically secure evidence rather than static reports or manual audits. So now let's look at how this plays out in our for real-world implementation in this InEExS project. So the Berlin case of the InEExS project addresses a classic problem, which is the landlord-tenant split incentive. Savings depend on behavior, but neither side fully trusts these calculations. And without trusted measurement of solar self-consumption, dynamic tariffs and pay-for-performance contracts become difficult to enforce. And here's where Verified Compute Cloud acts as a digital certifier. Solar production and consumption are calculated off-chain, and Verified Compute Cloud verifies that those calculations and produces an indisputable record of who consumed what and when. In Spain, the challenge is behavior change inside an energy community. And communities depend on members shifting load to solar peaks, but incentives fail without proof. That would mean that without tangible proof and clear incentives, many members continue their old habits. And the core question here is really simple. Did the consumption actually shift? So the community gains higher PV self-consumption and better efficiency, and trust holds back. Incentives are backed by data and transparent calculations. So the Verified Compute Cloud makes incentives credible because rewards are backed by verified behavior. And the Greek InEExS project use case tackles a different kind of trust problem, which is energy efficiency of legacy heating systems. Savings are typically based on baseline comparisons, as you know, and regulators demand stronger evidence. Without trusted verification, savings cannot be monetized. And here's where Verify Compute Cloud acts as an automated MRV auditor. So it verifies that the MRV logic ran correctly, providing consistent and tamper-resistant outputs. And that turns estimated savings into verifiable results. This in turn makes issuing an energy savings certificates feasible because we can then back them with data-supported proofs instead of estimations and assumptions. And it replaces estimation with verification, and it makes energy efficiency measurable, auditable, and financially usable. In the Nordics, the challenge is that smart homes can shift EV charging and heating, but grid operators need proof that flexibility was really delivered. And with Verify Compute Cloud, we verify deviations from expected consumption profiles. That means that project partners run the off-chain computation, and then Verify Compute Cloud validates them and records the result as a trusted event. Each flexibility action gets a verifiable digital record, which is an evidence trail that you can audit without exposing sensitive household data. So Verify Compute Cloud bridges here the gap between home appliances and the grid by proving the flexibility service were really delivered. To conclude, Verify Compute Cloud serves as a digital trust layer, as shown for the energy transition, enabling real-world events to be digitized, operations to be verified, and compliance to be seamlessly embedded and accelerated. And the proof concept demonstrated in InEExS can be easily turned into commercial solutions in these pilot sites or elsewhere. And we are open. Please contact us if you're interested in any collaboration. Handing now over to Katarina.
Thank you very much, Katie, for letting us know about the distributed ledger technology. I don't know if anyone from the audience has any question. You either put your question in the chat, or you can keep it for the Q&A session at the end, as you wish. Or try to unmute yourself in order to pose the question and basically raise your hand. If we don't have any question for now, we can now continue with the lessons learned and the replication. We have a question from Wolfgang. Let me check. Can you unmute yourself? Yeah.
I think I can unmute myself, but I cannot switch on my camera automatically, so I apologize for that. My name is Wolfgang Eichhammer. I'm working with the Fraunhofer Institute for Systems and Innovation Research in Germany. And I have the following two questions. In case study 3, it became apparent that the verification of energy savings or energy efficiency improvement is done or is tried to be done in some automated manner. And I was wondering in how far, given, let's say, the complexity of audits, according to your experience, this is something which can continue, which can improve, or in how far physical auditors are still necessary, because you have the complexity of companies, you have the complexity also of buildings and so on. And it would be interesting to get your insight into that. And the second question I would like to raise is about standardization, in how far the solutions that you presented for the different cases are easily transferred to other contexts, or whether more standardization of the solutions, of the IT behind, of the approaches behind, is necessary to transfer this from one application to the next one. Thank you very much for your answers and very interesting presentation. Thanks a lot.
So according to the first one, I think this goes basically later to the business case description of use case 3. But I think, it's something around that we foresee that baselines can be debated and assumptions can vary, and regulators there see demand as stronger proof. So we see that trusted verification is really something that we need to apply for these kind of services. And regarding your second question, so basically that's why I showed you the Verify Compute Cloud. It's really a solution set that we can enhance for any various business use case that we are also using for registries or other energy services like I've demonstrated with the InEExS use cases. So that was we have built it because we wanted to make it business agnostic, so it's more around an infrastructure trust layer that you can use for various use cases. But we can also go into more detail if needed, as the technical team is also joining.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both. Any other question? Okay, so we are now ready to move forward with the lessons learned and the replication potential from our business cases, starting from the first one that is related to the recommendations for innovative energy contracts with pay-for-performance guarantees. So the presentation will be delivered by Francesca Tuzzi from Berlin Energy Agency. Francesca, welcome, and you have the floor.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, great. So hello from Berlin. My name is Francesca Tucci. Thank you for the short introduction. I am project manager at Berlin Energy Agency. We are realizing energy consulting projects on energy efficiency and renewable energies, and are also an energy supplier, a small energy supplier. So in this context, we were able to be part of the InEExS project. I will first give a short overview of our business case and then come to our challenges which we faced during the project and our results and lessons learned. So next slide, please. Our objective of investigation from our business case one is our 5 houses in the Freudenberger Weg in Berlin-Spandau in the west of Berlin. And we work together with our partner Charlotte, a building cooperative, and we are the energy supplier there. So in the year 2022, we have installed some PV systems on the roofs. You can see it here on the picture, and also some electric vehicle charging stations. And within the project, we were able to install some modern meters. So next slide, please. The total PV capacity of the 5 systems is about 99 kilowatt peak, and the production was, for example, in the year 2022, 88 megawatt hours. The 5 buildings have in total 159 apartments, and around 40 of the tenants there are our electricity customers, and 18 of them were part of our project. So we have a really small study group. There are 8 charging stations in the basement with 6 active users, of which 3 were participating in our project. Next slide, please. The current business model looks like this, that we as an energy service provider are leasing the roof space for the installation of PV systems, and then we supply the tenants with the PV and with grid power if there's no sun or during the night times. And currently there's only one price for electricity, whether it comes from the sun or from the grid. Next slide, please. So the aim of our business case was to the measurement of solar system electricity production in real time and notify our tenants via an app about the actual solar electricity production. With this, we wanted to motivate the tenants to use the PV directly during the daytime when the sun was shining, because until now only 60 to 75% was used and the rest was fed into the grid. And we wanted to monitor if there's a changing in the user behavior. And for this, we compared the collected data with a baseline. And for the valuation of the direct PV usage, we made use of the energy web platform and wanted to validate the energy savings via tokens. And last but not least, we wanted to propose how an innovative energy contract could look like, which is based on the user behavior. Next slide, please. For the measurement and reporting and verification, we used some tools, which I want to show briefly. The smart meter, which we used, is from the company IoMeter. You can see it on the picture on the right. It's a digital sensor, which was added to the system in order to record the energy consumption data. Then the Zählerfreunde app was applied and given to the tenants, and it was shown live to them how their energy use was looked like, and also how much energy was produced at the moment from the PV system, so they can adapt their behavior. There were some interfaces which we need to program in order to use this tool. So one interface was programmed to the IoMeter in order to demonstrate the energy consumption data of each participant. Then the charge cloud is used to monitor the charging activities of the e-mobility customers. The meteor control cloud is used to control and monitor the solar system, and the energy web platform was used to monitor and calculate our data. Next slide, please. So we identified 3 key performance indicators. The first was the PV consumption quota per building. So we wanted to see the amount of renewable energy used compared to the total energy demand per house. The second KPI, with the second KPI, we wanted to demonstrate the amount of renewable energy used compared to the total energy produced. And the third KPI was used to demonstrate the amount of renewable energy used compared to the total energy demand per electric vehicle. Next slide, please. So when we started in the beginning, there were some challenges and risks which we had to face and where we had to find some solutions for. In the beginning, we had problems with the data transmission because, for example, the smart meters were not connected properly, or the batteries were empty, really simple simple problems. So we stricter controlled the functionality of the smart meters on a weekly basis, and also the charging status of the batteries was integrated into the app so that we can control if there's still the batteries still have energy. And for the data we lost during this time, it was like 2 or 3 weeks, we used comparative values from existing data as a basis for a baseline so that we can proceed with our calculations. Then another challenge was the voluntary participation of our tenants, because for now there was no financial incentive for them. So our worry was that the participants lose the initial interest in the app, because they had to check like every day how the electricity production is. If the sun is shining, then use like their use their electricity in the households or charge their cars. So with a monthly newsletter, we reported on the project and presented data analysis to keep the participants on track. And also in the beginning, we made a workshop with them to get some feedback and improve the app. One of our big challenges was the DLT integration. It took us really a long time to get the energy web application running. And we worked together with our partner office, IT organization, which worked hard on the programming. But as we stopped with the data collection in the end of October, we had to figure out how to continue with the data analysis like until now. So our programmer found a workaround via a Python application to get the platform or the calculations running, and also could help then another business case with our solution in the end. And yeah, also we reprogrammed the calculations so that the data analysis in the blockchain can run retroactively. And moreover, we stored the data also in our own servers for further analysis. Next slide, please. So here are some results. First, the first KPI, the self-consumption quote. We assumed that by using our app, we would increase the utilization of the PV system by at least 5% per month in house. But this not fully could be confirmed. We only observed an increase of 2 to 4% in some months, and in 3 houses, an increase of 5 to 7% was observed in a single month. The second KPI, the PV system utilization, could be increased by 1 to a maximum of 9% in some houses and months. And the third KPI, the EV-specific consumption, there, especially during the summer months, we could see a significant impact if the charging activities were during the daylight hours. And yeah, in the months May to August, sometimes the EV charging made up an average share of 22 to 44% at both charging stations. It has to be considered that we really had a small study group, so the results are not representative. Next slide, please. Yeah, here you can just see in this picture and this diagram the self-consumption of PV electricity by the participating households in July 2025. So yeah, the different colors are the different houses. So you can see that in some days the PV quote was like almost 80 up to 90%, but also in some days it was quite low. But in July last year, we also had the problem that we had a lot of rain and not so much sun. So this also must be considered by regarding the results. Next slide, please. So this is an example for the 2 tariff model which we developed. So as I mentioned in the beginning, at the moment our customers pay one fixed price for the electricity. Either it comes from the PV rooftop installations or from the grid. So the idea is to create an incentive to use the PV electricity directly by offering the PV electricity a little bit cheaper than the energy from the grid, which you can see on this picture. Next slide, please. So yeah, what did we learn from the project? Yeah, the replication potential. So we identified some replication potential by handing the app, the Zählerfreunde app to our customers, but we also saw that the implementation must be easy to integrate into everyday life. So if you're not at home during the daytime, it's hard for you to use the electricity or to charge your car. So yeah, smart household appliances could be a solution for that. Also, there should be a financial incentive be given to enhance the tenants to use the electricity during the day. In Germany, we have the problem that the smart meter rollout progresses very slowly, and we don't have digital meters yet in all our houses. So the requirements for digital energy solutions are not yet met everywhere. And yeah, considering the DLT, the appliance of DLT or the potential of DLT for the German energy market, and one of our replication workshop, we learned that in also previous studies have shown that there are so far no commercial applications of DLT in the energy sector. And for us, it was really a big challenge to get everything running. And we learned that you really need an IT expert in order to apply it. So for a small energy supplier like us, yeah, we don't at the moment see as a practical solution for the analysis of energy data. Last point, the economic viability of the business model. We were able to explore our method and tools in the frame of the InEExS project funding, but we didn't make a viability study in order to get it on the market. So further calculations need to be carried out in order to see if it's viable or not. For now, with the small study group which we had with only 18 participants, for us it was not economically viable to, or it would not be economically viable to offer this services. I think this was my last slide. Yes. Yeah, thank you very much for your attention, and if there are any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you very much, Francisca. I don't know if there are questions for our first business case. You either put them in the chat, or you can, keep a note, and we can discuss all of them at the final session that we have for questions and answers. So if we don't have any quick question, we move forward to the second business case that is related to the improved self-consumption in energy cooperatives. So our next speaker is from Spain, from Enercoop, is Efren Guillo Sansano. And yeah, Efren, when you are ready, you can start.
Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see the screen. And you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Efren Guillo. I'm Innovation Manager at Grupo Enercoop, and I'll present the business case 2 that refers to a business model for improving self-consumption in energy communities. This business model was also developed in collaboration with ESCOs and Verdia Legal. Okay, so our main objective with this business model within InEExS was to try to start the shifting of the consumption from the nighttime to the daytime. So Enercoop has a large energy community. We already have 10 collective PV installation, some 3 megawatt PV plant, and we need to provide the best, let's say, service to our members, and we find that trying to promote self-consumption of energy by providing some incentives through a blockchain was a great idea of improving or optimizing the performance of our energy community. So basically, the main objective of this business case was to try to improve this matching from instantaneous production of the PV plants with instantaneous consumption from the members. So the energy services that we expected here was to provide a collective PV or share PV without upfront investment for the members of the cooperative. So this is the cooperative making the investment for the members, and this investment being recovered with their savings. So this is a challenge sometimes, as the members themselves are not making the investment. That means they are not worried about how much they self-consume or how much they save, because it's been for free. So this is an additional challenge for this business that we also try to, let's say, to improve with this provision of incentives through tokens. Then we have variable tariffs, so trying to have a cheaper, actually following the market is tariffs that are following the market. So basically cheaper during the sun hours, and it's much more expensive during the hours that there's no sun, typically in Spain at least anyway. And we also provide an energy advisory program where we provide, encourage consumers to be more efficient through some efficiency nudge to provide, let's say, key actions to improve their efficiency when they consume energy. So for this, we have used the blockchain platform to basically develop the smart contracts, the pay for performance scheme, and the tokens that are provided through a mobile app. So basically, at the end, we have merged all these into a digital tool, which is a mobile app that provides energy monitoring, behavior nudging, gamification, and also some personalized insights for the members, with the final objective of improving this self-consumption. So just a bit of context on the pilot that we ran. We have this renewable energy community in Crevillent, which is composed of both let's say small, medium PV collective self-consumption installations in the urban area, most of them 100 kilowatts. And then we even have some micro PV plants in peri-urban areas. So the collective self-consumption goes through administrative self-consumption. In the case of the PV plants, because of the power output, it cannot go through a typical administrative self-consumption. So we do some virtual self-consumption. And all these is actually self-consumed by different types of consumers, so both households, commercial consumers, and also SMEs. So this is the infrastructures that have been monitored within InEExS and the members of these installations that were doing the self-consumption. So basically in these pictures there's 7 installations. Currently we have 10 of these, and even one of them with energy storage. So what have we done in this business case? So we had to basically identify first data collection needs, including the development of a database for the purpose of this app. So basically, this is a challenge, or it could be a challenge for replication in terms of availability of data, of consumption data. So in this case, all the consumers are managed by our by the ENERCOP energy retailer, and all of them have provided consent to use the data for the purpose of being involved in this app. So it was a bit easier in Spain. I know there's a database which is called DataDis, that it can be used for the same purpose as all the consumption, but maybe in other countries it can be a challenge. Then we also analyze how to integrate the proposed services into a mobile phone application. So, there's some specific services that we want to develop into a mobile app. We had to develop the design of the app and so on. Definition and calculation of key metrics. So as you've seen, and you will see, these different business cases have different metrics and services. So all this is have to be specified for the different business case. Visualization requirements and also DLT requirements. So what's the technology going to be and how this is going to be integrated within the app. This has proven to be a challenge. The integration of the blockchain technology within the whole process of the data. Also, there's GDPR regulations. So in order to be all verified through the blockchain, we had to aggregate some of the data in order to be compliant with the GDPR. And also the reward mechanism for users is always a challenge, as more, let's say, financial reward, it's better for them. So in our case, it's a gamification and had no financial reward, and this is also a challenge. So in here, I have the main visualization screens of the app. So the first one just shows some monitoring of their consumption and and their production, or their share of production from these collective PV installations. So they can see their self-consumption, how much they are savings, and how much exceeding energy they are having for each day or each month, or whatever they want to select in the app. Then we have another view which shows their change in behavior. So what we have on the right-hand side is the comparison regarding changes in consumer behavior. This is how much we are aggregating here per month. So the same month, the previous year, how much they consume in each of the hours, and how much are they consuming during this year. So then we can see how much energy consumed are they shifting from, let's say, non-sun hours to sun hours. So we have developed a metric so that we can measure this and also give some tokens, for the ones that are improving or shifting their behavior in this regard. Then we have the comparison regarding the improvement of self-consumption. So we also provide, let's say, incentives for improving self-consumption. So even if they shift or not, which is a different variable, it will be related. But in this one, we are actually measuring self-consumption and how much are they improving. If they see that there's sun, are they increasing their consumption? There's no sun, there's no need. So we also provide some incentives in this regards. And then we have a last screen on the results of the tokenization process, basically the gamification. So we have a ranking, anonymized ranking of the clients with their points, so they can see, how are they doing compared with the other members of the energy community. So what have we learned from this? So that user awareness is a long-distance race. So yes, there's an app, mobile app and web app. So both of them, and we have had different workshops, in-person workshops, and meetings with different members. But at the end, it depends quite a lot on the members of the community. In our case, for example, a lot of interested members were, let's say, of advanced age, which were not very skilled with the digital tools. So, it's sometimes it's a challenge for them to actually, use these tools to improve their self-consumption. Then some other type of members maybe are not that much interested in in-person meetings, and it's also difficult to follow how much are they using these tools. We have seen that self-consumption since we started with this tool has improved by 10% or so, which we believe is a very, very good number. So we never know if this is only a result of this tool or also of all the, let's say, communication that we do on the project and on the self-consumption. Then regarding saving mechanisms, as I mentioned, creativity is required. It's difficult to actually more than saving mechanisms, I would say incentive mechanisms. So what incentives are valuable for the citizen. So for sure, financial incentives, these are difficult always to provide us. Are the improving savings, for example, in here is, if a typical user gets I don't know, 5-10 euros per month in savings. It's difficult to provide a very large amount. In this case, has for them to be significant. And regarding blockchain, it's a technology that still has a long way to go. We face some challenges at the time of integrating with the technology. Also, the technology, it's maturing, so that means it's also evolving. So we have had to go through different versions of the technology, meaning different developments or different integration processes, which it's been quite complex and time-consuming. So still needs some matureness, but I think it's valuable and it's very useful for some of the cases. So as next steps from our business case, we will expand these to. So currently it has already in the database for 6 of the installations. So we'll try to expand it to the 10 that we have currently, and that means expanding from 600 users to 1,000 users. or so. Try to increase user engagement through more workshops and communication activities, and try to strengthen the incentives and the smart flows. So how we manage these incentives. In terms of replication potential, we believe that the app is a flexible architecture, so it's modular, so it has different modular services, ETL, KPI, smart flows, and so on, that are integrated, but they are logically separated and could be easily replicated. And it's scalable, as it has been already demonstrated in our case, that it can be used for not just one installation, but multiple in an energy community. In terms of applicability, we believe that this could be replicated in renewable energy communities, but not necessarily, complying with all the requirements for renewable energy community in terms of legal figure, purpose, and so on, but also for cooperatives and municipalities that own or manage collective self-consumption installation. And this application is enabled by, the proven pilot that we have performed in ENERCOP in Crevillent, and the mechanisms proven, and also the technical infrastructure that we have shown. And just to conclude, we believe, as I mentioned, it's easily adaptable to additional PV systems. Replicants can benefit from reduced grid losses, higher utilization of local renewables. That means also lower consumer bills, and greater citizen engagement with the gamification of the app. Integrating these digital services offers a viable pathway also for decentralized energy transition models, that at the end is something that we have in mind, all the digitalization and decarbonization of the grid. And business case 2 has provided a applicable incentive-driven ecosystem that leverages this blockchain technology to drive behavioral change and maximize renewable energy use. So I think that's everything from business case 2. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Efren, for explaining us the lessons learned of your business case, of business case 2. We have 2 questions in the Q&A part, but since we're a bit behind the schedule, I would prefer that we have an overview of all the business cases first, and then we can allocate 10 minutes for answering all the questions that the audience has. Thank you very much for the questions. So I will move forward with the next presentation that is related to business case 3, energy efficiency and flexibility services through smart heating. Stratos Keranidis from DOMEX will deliver the presentation. So Stratos, you can share your screen and start presenting.
Hello, good morning. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
And let me switch to full screen. So hello, good morning. I'm Stratos Keranidis from DOMEX. At DOMEX, we develop smart energy systems mainly for residential consumers. Within business case 3, the focus is on delivering energy efficiency services through smart heating. We start with the motivation of our business case. So we know the key fact that within Europe, buildings account for more than 40% of the total energy consumption. And the main reason is that buildings are mainly energy inefficient. To address this, the energy efficiency obligation schemes have been developed to force European energy suppliers to achieve energy savings of up to 1.5% on an annual basis for their end consumers. So in order to manage this, the suppliers are investigating cost-effective measures that can improve the energy efficiency and ultimately reduce the cost for their consumers. The issue here is that the majority of solutions that are market available, they are not able to quantify energy savings at the portfolio level, but only at the consumer level. So where does our business case come in? So we already have a smart heating product that can achieve up to 30% of energy savings without affecting comfort. This is the Domex smart heating controller. The users are also equipped with our smartphone application and they use it to remotely manage their system and also to understand how they consume and save energy. And finally, we have also developed a machine learning based service that is able to calculate the energy savings both at the consumer and also aggregate them at the portfolio level. So what are the main benefits of our solution? We have a very basic user-friendly mobile application. We provide wide system compatibility. We focus a lot on maintaining comfort within the limits that the user specifies either through the app or through the thermostat. We do automatic adaptation of the smart heating procedure so the user does not need to intervene. And another key advantage is that we also provide metering through this simple device. Here we can see two indicative installations that we performed at the households of our pilot users. On the left, we can see integration with a gas boiler, and on the right, integration with an electrical heat pump. So what is business? What are the users of business case 3? First of all, end consumers that are able to save energy and monitor the achieved savings and comfort based on trustworthy data. Second, energy suppliers who are obliged through the energy efficiency obligation scheme, and they need to have solutions for automated and verifiable reporting. And finally, authorities that need to report, collect reports, verify them, and cross-check them through a universal service. So this is what the business case 3 solution of InEExS has been developed for, to equip all these kind of stakeholders with a unique and universal solution for energy efficiency reporting. In the core of our solution, we have integrated the measurement and verification approach. So we collect a lot of data about baseline information, and we had to develop a solution to develop these baseline simulations into energy savings data. So we start with a core problem that our device is installed during the winter season, and this is the moment where we start collecting data. So we have no baseline information prior to the installation of our device. In order to manage to develop a baseline during the actual heating season, we decided to proceed with option D of the IP-MVP protocol, which drives us to do calibrated simulation. So what we actually do is we reconstruct the baseline performance during the heating season. How do we do this? We let the device operate under the energy saving mode during the entire winter season, which is the blue line that you can see here. And during specific days, we disable the energy saving mode, and we revert back to the baseline mode. So you can see these red dots, which are selected days where the baseline mode of operation was enabled. Having these two lines, actually the actual energy consumption and the baseline under specific days, we use it to develop a personalized model for each consumer that will be able to simulate the baseline mode over the entire winter season. Just to give you an example, the reconstructed baseline is the yellow line here, and based on the difference between the yellow line, which is the reconstructed one, and the blue line, which is the actual consumption, we are able to estimate energy savings. What was the next step? We had to cross-check our approach based on smart meter data. So in this line, you can see 1.5 months of actual smart meter, daily smart meter consumption from a given household, which is the blue bars. You can see how close the red line, which is the estimated actual consumption from our that is based on data collected from our controller. It fits very well with the blue bars, and we can see also the green line, which is the simulated baseline that is also that uses also the smart meter data to fit better to the actual consumption. So we did this approach with a majority of households that were equipped also with smart meters, and we estimated the average energy savings at the portfolio level that achieved 29%. We also developed two user interfaces. Actually, we integrated a new visualization screen to report the energy savings through our smartphone application, so the user can see the actual savings reported on a monthly level for their household. And we also have the aggregate portfolio level visualization that is used through the energy supplier dashboard, and it reports the savings and various KPIs for the overall portfolio of the energy supplier that is using it. In our case, we had a strong collaboration within the project with Heron, and we onboarded close to 50 end users that collected the data for both for the actual consumption, the baseline, and we derived the savings for them. Through our close collaboration with the energy supplier, we also managed to establish a robust business model. We identified the revenue streams, so we have specific licensing to get access to the service. We have service fees that is specified per household per month. We provide also optional value-added services like energy efficiency obligations, compatible reporting, or integrations. The cost structure was also identified, plus the monthly fees for the cloud infrastructure. We also calculated the impact of the overall approach. The economic impact is quite high, so the end user can get their money back in less than a year in the case that we use co-financing between the end user and the energy supplier. The return on investment for the energy supplier is less than 2 years in the case that they use no co-financing. The societal impact is related with the ability to get end users to get transparent, verifiable, and privacy-preserving savings. Our solution is inclusive, so we also capture legacy heating systems that is able to support households under energy poverty. And the biggest impact of our solution is the environmental. We can achieve and also verify energy savings of up to 30%. The potential impact for a household of 1,000, for a portfolio of 1,000 households can reach 396 tons of CO2 reduction per year. And finally, the solution that we developed is green by design, so we minimize the data that are stored on chain, and we do all the analytics off chain. Which are the lessons learned? It is now clear that robust monitoring and verification can build trust both for the end consumers and also for the energy suppliers. Our tools, the majority of them are digital, can provide data-driven verification. So we reduce costs, we reduce the bureaucratic procedure of performing the actual reporting in compliance with the energy efficiency obligation scheme. The capacity building between market actors, in our case with Heron, the energy supplier, and also the CRES, which is the National Authority for Energy Efficiency Verification. It helped us a lot to develop the model and also to strengthen the enforcement capacity. In terms of replication, the established regulatory framework helped us a lot. So energy efficiency obligations is not something that energy suppliers are not aware of. They are obliged to do the actual savings on a yearly basis and report it. So what helped us also a lot was the establishment of a clear business model and revenue streams. And what was the outcome of our replication? We managed to collaborate closely with 6 potential replicators, and among them, we managed to proceed with successful replication in 2 cases. One with a new energy supplier in Greece, and second with one technology provider that provides similar solutions in Spain. So all in all, the replication approach was quite successful. So that is all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stratos. for being to the point. So this helps us moving to the next and last business case 4, about smart energy management for EV chargers and electricity-based HVAC appliances. This presentation will be delivered by Lars Here. Hi, Lars, from Hyven. The floor is yours. So you can
Hello,
proceed.
thank you. You can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you, but I don't think that we see any slide. Let's wait. Yes, now we can see the slide.
All right. So you said the name already. I can mention the partners then. I am representing Hyven, a venture within distributed energy resource flexibility, where I am working as the head of virtual power plant. Then our partner here was Fortum, an electricity retailer in the Nordics, and Energy Web. Some quick background driving all of this. What we see in the energy system is increased volatility, both demand and supply side, decentralization along with digitalization, then the growth of energy storage solutions, and a push in regulations. This is all motivating us to do this business case together with the fact that the estimations for the growth of distributed assets are huge. So over the next 5 years, it's estimated 65 gigawatt only in the European markets will come from distributed assets, EVs and heat pumps. And if we look on the right side, I think the slides are lagging a bit, but on the right side of this figure here, you can see then where flexibility is supposed to origin from. And we see that in the long run by 2050, roughly half of the flexibility is supposed to come from the demand and largely from smart EV charging. So this is pretty much the motivation for that for this business case, where here Hyven has set up a B2B2C energy management platform, which means that we as Hyven, we do not integrate individual homes directly, but we partner with business partners in order to steer their connected assets. And the value creation is twofold. For one, we do create value behind the meter for the individual homeowner. But on top of that, we activate flexibility in short periods, which can be seconds to minutes in flexibility markets to deliver flexibility services and generate additional revenue from there. The core objective is then to generate value from electric vehicles by optimizing their charging in flexibility. And the core question that was driving us here is how we can leverage internal flexibility or the inherent flexibility that exists in devices that are already deployed and installed without deploying additional hardware. So no home energy management system, no pulse, no additional Raspberry Pi in the home, but pure remote steering and control. The customer segments that we are addressing with this B2B2C model are threefold. First, we work with electricity retailers such as Fortum, but then this can also be applied to OEMs, manufacturers of cars or chargers or heat pumps, where we're not yet live, but we have some experiences. And then with fleet operators, for instance, bus operators or car logistics companies. We have then structured our product into 3 different services that we call Harmonize, Optimize, and Trade. Where Harmonize is the part that generates value behind the meter for the end user. Optimize is a product that balance responsible parties can use to minimize their imbalance in wholesale markets. And Trade is a product targeted for the flexibility markets or ancillary service markets that are operated by transmission system operators. And on the right, you can see the kind of the basic concept of connectivity here. Hyven is generating revenues in the flexibility and energy markets, sharing that with our B2B partners, and our B2B partners then have the end users and their devices connected to their own platforms. How it looks like, you here see a screenshot of our pilot app. You can add your device, for instance, a wallbox charger or your car directly. You can then set the parameters in terms of when do I want it to be ready in the morning, and then the charge levels. What is the minimum charge I need to get to, let's say, the nearest hospital, and by what percentage should the charging be stopped in the morning? And based on those parameters, we then optimize the charging overnight based on electricity prices and flexibility markets. So it could look qualitatively, it could look like this, where we have cost of electricity typically lower during the night, in the hours between like midnight and 6 a.m. During those hours, we would then schedule the charging. Those are the blue blocks. And if there is a need for flexibility, we would interrupt the charging for a short duration, which is indicated by the yellow block. And we would then earn additional revenues in those hours and compensate by adding the dark blue block in the end of the morning hours. So in terms of exploitable results here, we have, of course, the data, tools, methods, and services. Those are actually launched and in production and can be reused. We have built the APIs to the electric vehicles, the optimization and forecasting algorithms. What we need for successful replication is basically a business partner with a sufficiently large collection of aggregated assets. So it could be an energy retailer, for instance, that has several EVs connected. Yeah, we have participated in several conferences. I'm participating in a podcast in 2 weeks where I also share those results, and yeah, where we can encourage knowledge sharing. Lastly, then, what we have learned, and I can say we also did some replication interviews with our B2B partners. So those were both electricity retailers and car OEMs. And those findings are really interesting in my view, and they are actually differing between retailers and OEMs. So the key themes are 4 here. First, the perceived values. For end users, this is recognized, of course, as a cost-saving opportunity. But for retailers, for electricity retailers, they seem to be interested mostly in the end user interest in smart charging. For OEMs, however, they see it as a way to reduce the TCO, the total cost of ownership of the car. Then we have adoption drivers. Of course, financial incentives are on top of the list, but then also simplicity, reliability, and trust are of big value. In terms of concerns from the end users, there's of course some hesitations, and they are similar to the drivers here. Trust is one of them, control, and then a concern for battery health. So they are of course concerned that their own car might degrade if it is charged in a way that impacts the battery. And what was highlighted by car OEMs and electricity retailers is that a transparent model is really important. A transparent model for revenue sharing between us, the service provider, the B2B partner, and the end user. OEMs are still in a phase where they're piloting models, but energy retailers, they see the success when the monetary, when the model is clear, the business model and the monetary benefits are clear. So then in summary, for electricity retailers, the big questions are how to lower the electricity bills, a trusted open book profit sharing model and addressing concerns about reliability and system transparency. For OEMs, the three biggest points are reducing the total cost of ownership, simplicity and peace of mind for the end user, and addressing concerns from the end user around the battery health. All right, this was my last slide. With that, I'm concluding. You can contact me. You can find our demo app also in the Google Play and Apple Store. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lars, and thank you also for mentioning about the replication activities, because I confirmed that there was a very strong replication action within the project with more than 500 stakeholders being engaged within our capacity building activities and replication activities. So now I know that we are 3 minutes before the end of the session, but I would like to allocate some minutes in replying the questions that we have in the Q&A panel. So if you don't mind, I will start with the first question that is related to business case 1. How much explicit cooperation of the user was necessary in the case study, and what more can be automated, and what is necessary in terms of more appliances? So, Francesca, if you don't mind, yeah.
Yeah, I can answer that. Thank you for the question to Mr. Eichhammer. Yeah, as I already mentioned, in our case, the participants had to act independently. So they have, like, if they want to use the PV electricity produced during the daylight hours, they have to use their washing machine, for example, or charge their car. A solution could be to add like smart household appliances, which could simplify the direct use of the solar energy, like, for example, smart washing machines, which automatically run if the app says there is a lot of sun electricity at the moment. And of course, also battery storage would be useful, which in our case we have not installed yet in this houses in Spandau. I hope this answers your question.
Thanks, Francesca. Next question is for a friend, business case 2. You talk about enhancing the self-consumption. Was there a shift to more self-consumption, or did overall consumption increase at the same time? What actions for increasing self-consumption were undertaken by the members?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I have tried to answer in the chat, but I'll try to answer here again. So basically, we have not measured the increase of consumption of the aggregated group of users that has been involved in the pilot, but we have the increase in consumption on the whole municipality of Crevillent in 2024 that was approximately 0.5%, which, you know, we are not growing quite a lot in terms of electricity consumption, but anyway, it's a fair point, and basically we also have some concerns about this, you know, how to differentiate what is an increase of consumption from what is actually a shift of consumption from the night to the day. So basically, on the efficiency measure that we are doing, we have two factors. One is how much is being shifted from, you know, consumption on non-sun hours to sun hours, and another one is how much decrease in energy consumption exists. So basically, if there's an increase in consumption, so we, let's say, subtract some points. So we try to add more points when there's you know, a shift of the consumption from the night into the day. But also, if there's a decrease in overall consumption, that means more efficiency, or that's an assumption, basically, because we don't know. Because as I mentioned, I think in the chat, you know, there might be a a user that actually buys an EV car, his consumption goes increases quite a lot, and maybe even they are being more efficient because they have renovated whatever appliances in the house or something like this, and they are consuming less than other years, but because of the buying of an EV car, the consumption has increased quite a lot. So this is a very difficult factor to account for.
Okay, and one more question for you, Efren. What was necessary in terms of interaction with the relevant DSO for the energy community, and were there technical barriers in this interaction?
So in our case, there was no interaction with the DSO in this case. So we have energy consumption from the members through DataDis, which is let's say national portal where all the DSOs provide energy consumption data to it, and then any third party that has signed consent from the final user, they can access to this data. And obviously this data is from the day before, so we don't have real-time data. So the technical barrier, I would say, is for achieving a real-time monitoring of the consumption and production. It would be great for DSOs to have real-time data and that to be shared with the users or third-party users of this data, in order to to improve the reaction of the members, or to have the availability of these users to actually see how they're doing in real time. So from the production side, we have additional meters where we get the production data in a minute by minute basis. So we have that production in real time basically. But for the consumption, yeah, it's always a challenge because DSOs cannot provide that data in that way.
Thanks, Efren. I hope that we're fine with these questions. I would like now to ask you for any additional questions. If anyone wants to add something or have any query about what was presented, now is the time to try to raise your hand. Yes, it's Ivan.
Yeah, just
Ivan?
I want to go back to the question that they made to Energy Web after our presentation. So I think there were two points, one about governance and trust, and the other one about standards. So the easy one is the second one. So we try to follow all the interoperability standards issued by the European Commission or the standard offices. So we always use on our systems the standard ontologies and vocabularies, which we also contribute through other projects to develop. So in that sense, we try to always comply with the best practices standards, of course, GPDR and all those systems. And then internally in the coding, there is also other more technically specific standards that I'm not very familiar with, but my team is. And then coming back to the first question, where it was more about how do you shift from different legislations, how you authenticate. This is based on something we call coded governance. So like Katie was saying, our systems are governance or legislation agnostic, meaning that we can operate much faster than traditional auditors by coding the compliance into the smart contract. So if the law says something that can be coded into the smart contract that interoperates, that helps interoperate in the different services. So if a transaction is not compliant, it's not going to be validated by the system. So that enables two things. First, compliance is automatic. So the moment it's coded, if the transaction doesn't fulfill the criteria, it's not going to go ahead. So the audits are a lot easier because you have warranty that everything that has happened is in line with the regulation. And that makes it also a lot faster, right? I don't have to wait 1 year for the audit to know if something has been according to the law or not. Of course, this is always if the code is actually representing what's on the law, right? But that's only a one-stop, one place to check, and not having to check every transaction that is subsequent to this. So I know that helped answer the question from before, but if not, we're always happy to get in touch and go into the details.
Thanks, Ivan. Any other comment from the audience? I don't see anything. Let me check also the chat. No, so I would say that this was it. So from our side, we will upload the recording and the presentation so that you can go back and text anything or contact any specific speaker. Thank you very much all for joining us today. A big thanks to our speakers for sharing their insights, their experiences. Your contributions, made this webinar valuable. And we really appreciate everyone's engagement, not only today, but throughout the InEExS project. And we look forward to see how these energy solutions can make an impact across Europe. So thanks again and goodbye. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.